Okay, we're on the air.
All right.
Hey everybody,
What's up, everybody?
it's the three
We're
Buttsketeers.
we're back. I'll apologize for us not staying on the 2-week schedule because I was belligerently drunk in South Bend when we when the 2 weeks would have been up a couple weeks ago, and just kind of didn't work out for us to get back together and do this again until now. But we're here again, and we've got some stories about messing up our dicks to talk to you guys about.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting. I know last time we talked, we were on here. We just talked about how much we hated everything, and I think we were Justin was actively trying to get fired. I I was praying every night to get fired, and it'll be interesting to see if this goes as well now that we're all. I think it's gonna be fun, but it seems like everybody's a lot happier, so I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, from what I
Good job, right, Jacob?
Yeah.
from what I can tell, you've both had a pretty good month. Since our last podcast, you've both had positive developments in your life, right?
Right.
I haven't. The only thing that since our last podcast with me is that I haven't shaved. That's it.
It looks good.
Does
Uh,
it?
Thanks. It doesn't feel good, but okay. It itches really fucking bad all the time. It's not even
Just
that much. It's not even that much of a beard. I don't get it.
All right, let's kick this these mangled dick tails off. Dick tails. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to write the theme song for that off the DuckTales theme and Dick Tails. So
I'm just picturing, as we're about to tell these stories, I'm picturing like that, like what leads up to this is like a bottom, like the ticker along the bottom line of SportsCenter says like says like Jacob Price, and then in parentheses penis. Jacob Price is out for week 6 with a penile injury.
So this one is like my first, like really earliest memories. I ran into a door when I was like 3 or something like that, and I kind of remember like my head profusely bleeding and like having to get stitches, sort of, kind of, but it's more like a surreal because like a composite of people telling me the story of what happened. But this, I was like really my first visceral memory that like earliest thing I can remember, and I was about. I would have been in kindergarten, so I've been five or 6 years old, and so there was a jungle gym. I went to this daycare center that had this gigantic back area or whatever where they had a couple different playground areas, and so there's this one that was wood and metal, and so it wasn't like one of the fancier new ones. So a lot of kids didn't go to it. So I liked going to it because it wasn't so crowded, and so I remember I was walking on the top of this, and there's like a big like whatever it is, like like a tunnel, a culvert or whatever underneath it, like just a giant like tunnel you could go through underneath it. The length of it is about 10 feet, but on top it's just a walkway, and then ladders on either side that you could climb up to. It was about 5 feet in the air, and so I remember I was walking and I wasn't paying attention and I stepped off. And so when I did that, if you're listening to the podcast, just imagine like just like a 45, like if I have my legs, at a 90-degree angle, that like what the Pythagorean theorem line that's like, hey, 45-degree angle out to the hypotenuse, like that's where I got struck with this large piece of lumber. So I basically crotched myself on this sharp, like, it's a fucking piece of wood that's square, and so I like jammed my dick ball sack onto this at 5. So I start crying. You kind of hit it, and then I like fell down 5 feet onto the ground and like hurt my shoulder. So I like injured my dick, and I'm too young to understand why it hurt so much or whatever. But I do remember I got put into like a spare classroom while everybody was out at recess, and I literally, like, I guess they had I had like pulled the waistband of my pants down like underneath my ball sack, so it was like my little dick and balls are hanging out, and there's like and I had to have a Ziploc full of ice sitting on it, and so I was just like dick out in this classroom at 5 years old with a swelling penis. And I'm fairly confident that is why. I know when I had middle school sex ed, everything, it's okay if this does, if it's okay if you do, it's okay if you don't. But like, like I remember like when it's like, hey, raise your hand if one of your balls hangs down lower than the other. And I was like, yeah, of course. But I don't think that was like a natural, like just, oh, one ball hangs significantly lower than the other. I'm pretty sure it's because when it came down, I split, the old frog throat down there, and just split it into two. And one of them got more injured, and I'm pretty sure that's why one of my balls is about hangs about 1.5 inches lower than the other one.
Oh my God, 1.5 inches. That's a lot of distance. I mean, mine's like they're a little offset, but you're working with like this.
Yeah. Mine is definitely not symmetrical. And I have to, like with tailored pants, like I have to, have to dress to the left, as the tailors say. But that's why I wrote that piece about the fancy sweatpants, and like it was because of, like these things were like drop crotch, and like I had plenty of space for my dangle to like grandfather clock in there, and like I wasn't all pushed up. And like I just felt like really free, so like I definitely, that's why I really like those fancy sweatpants. Is now my abnormal ball hang had plenty of space to to frolic and be itself.
I really enjoyed the sweatpants article, by the way. Everybody should go on 4Pins and read Justin's article, his story about his fancy sweatpants and how they changed his life. It was actually really inspirational. I read it twice.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's just like a testament to like you don't know who Twitter people are. You just kind of like, oh, this guy is funny and I like them and I interact with them. And then like I saw this guy who I think does some fashion kind of stuff just because of the people that he interacts with and follows him. And then I like just innocently asked like, hey, like what are some good brands for like fancy sweatpants? And then he just direct messaged me like, what's your size? And I was like, this. And then he was like, okay, cool. And then like 2 weeks later, I had these like $100, $75 sweatpants delivered to my house. And like, I still don't know who he is, and I've thanked him profusely. But yeah, shouts out to internet friends. And he did. I mean, he had no clue that he was helping my balls be free and be themselves. He had no clue. He had no clue that I crotched myself at 5 years old and made one of my balls hang down lower than the other one.
Yeah, he has no clue that you fucked your dick and balls up.
Shit is mangled.
That's actually worrisome. See, all my dick injury stories, like before we get into them, all of them start like after 12. My dick was completely beautiful, healthy, and untouched before that. Like, you should be worried. I mean, you already have a kid, so you're good. But like, I mean, if I crushed my genitals when I was 5 years old, I'd really be worried.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, if you can defer it as long as possible, then that gives you the best odds for reproduction. For me, it's probably like, oh my God, I shifted my injuries so early in life. I got to get these kids out of me because it's probably in 5 years, it's just not gonna be working.
God. Hey, Jacob.
If I can just describe my balls, it's like it would be like a like the Lady of Justice, like with the scales. Like if those things were like, if one of them had like a pound of of flour on it, and then the other one had 50 pounds of cheese. And so it's like uneven scales or whatever. Like that's what it kind of would look like. That's what's going on down in my groin region. Just for people that need a visual.
50 pounds of cheese.
On the left side, it's uneven.
Jacob, tell us about your dick or balls.
So, I have not had that much misfortune. I have I think I'm just terrified of everything. But I have like pretty good self-preservation reflexes. I feel like, but like they're also really unfortunate. Like, for instance, when I would try and do a backflip on a trampoline when I was younger, as soon as my body got to parallel, my brain would just like, no, we're not supposed to be here. And I would just like panic and I'd like land on my head. But like it would, and I could do a front flip fine. But if I tried to do a back flip, like something in my brain goes, no, we're not supposed to go that direction, and would shut me down. Like I would just like. So even if anything ever gets like within like 5 feet of my balls, I'm leaving. Like I'm out. I don't want to be around anything. But I remember in 7th grade we were on a field trip, and this wasn't an overly dramatic story, and I didn't get in trouble for hurting my nuts, obviously. But we were just riding on a bus, begged for mercy. Actually, I just brought my G Unit CD on the bus because I was a cool little 7th grader. We hit a bump and landed, sat down right on him, like so it was up, down, and I just like screamed without even thinking, "Fuck my balls!" And like the entire bus just turned around. I was like, But there was the only other time I can think, and I guess somebody else can go. So I did think of another one, but yeah, I've never had too many problems. It's never been too devastating. It's what I do afterwards that always makes it devastating, like screaming cuss words on a bus in 7th grade.
I mean, you should be proud to not have injured your genitals a bunch of times. Like it's stupid and it shows. Like I don't know. When you hear mine, you're not going to be surprised. But like I'm an idiot. And but speaking of the bouncing on the bus thing, so it's funny you say that you crushed your balls. We used to bounce on the speed bumps in the school bus like a lot. Mm-hmm. And it was like the big thing that we would do. For some reason we did it on Fridays. We went over the speed bumps every single fucking day, twice a day, but just on Fridays we'd be like, let's bounce! I don't know how that fares for the driver, but anyway, so there was a rumor, like kind of a suburban legend in my school district, that on bouncing day, which was a Friday afternoon on the way home from school, like 20 years ago, some guy had bounced, he'd gone in the up bounce, okay, so he's suspended up, and someone put a pencil under his ass, and then he landed on the pencil. And now I don't know how perfect the execution was. I don't know if it was straight. I don't know if it was targeted. But we all thought that it was like when you're really little, you think, oh, that's got to be true. That's crazy. Some guy got a pencil impaled in his ass. And then we got older and we were like, that story wasn't true. And then when it was late in high school. We were talking with my friend's dad, who is from the town that I'm from. He's always lived here. He's a business owner here now. He went to the high school. And he said that it's true and that a kid, it didn't go up his asshole, but the pen got fully stabbed, impaled in this kid's ass cheek. So they missed the asshole, but they got the ass cheek. I don't know. That seemed relevant.
Oh my God.
Pretty messed up, though.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, my dick story. So in the last podcast, everybody heard about my hernias and like all the problems with my balls. So I'll just focus on my dick because the balls have taken a lot of injury, but the dick has taken a lot of injury too. All right. So first one I can think of, I was in like 6th or 7th grade, and like I was just like a jerk off monster, like a prepubescent like masturbation freak. Like when you're like 13, 14, like you can jack off to anything. Like if you put a pair of boobs on like a door, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, that's hot shit. And so you're just like, you're 13, you're jerking off all the time, whatever, and but you're still kind of learning about yourself and your body, and so I would like use lotion sometimes, try different lotions. I didn't know what I was doing. So some kid at my school is like, oh yeah, you should use Vaseline. But Vaseline is a brand that makes multiple like lubricants and moisturizers. I thought, but the only Vaseline that I knew was petroleum jelly, which is like wax. It's like wet wax, and then, but he meant lotion, like a normal person, because he had Vaseline lotion. But I didn't. So I went home. I was like, really? That stuff? I've touched that stuff before, and like it seems like wax. How are you? He's like, no, trust me. So I went home and did it. And like it started going, and it didn't go. Like it stopped. Like it gets hardened, but then I forced it and like I pushed it and it kept going, and then it started to heat up, right? Like if you put petroleum jelly in your hands and you rub it around a lot, like it gets warm, especially if it's this kind of motion. So it heated up really bad, and I knew something was really wrong, so I tried to wash it off, but it's water just beads off of it. You can't do it. So I had to I didn't know what to do. I was trying to wipe it off, but there was still residue, and the water couldn't get under it. So I went in the kitchen cabinet, and I took my dad's comb that he uses for his hair, and I just combed it off my and then I put it back. Okay, that's not the worst part of the story. Like, the dick hasn't been injured yet. My dick's still fine. So now, I didn't finish it. So I'm like, okay, I cleaned it off. I used the comb. I'm gonna go finish this. So I go do it. My nails are really long. I hadn't cut them, I guess. I sliced my dick with the ring finger. I remember it vividly. The ring finger of my right hand sliced my penis on the down, and it gave it like a good 2-inch incision, and the blood flowed like, oh my god, it was fucked. And so the petroleum jelly's mostly gone, but there's still some petroleum jelly there, and it's mixing with the blood and like the lotion that I had used after the jelly. Yeah, it was disgusting. So.
This is such a
God.
story.
No, that's actually like one of my worst fears. Like, one of the reasons I don't give blood is because I have this irrational fear that, like, I'm gonna go and give whatever, like, a pint of blood or whatever they need, and then on my way home I'm gonna get in a traffic accident and I'm gonna bleed out. And like, if I just had that pint of blood still in my body, I would have like made it to the hospital and been alive. Like, that's why I do not give blood. Like, I wish I could. It's that I know that's what would happen to me. That's my life. Like, that's exactly how I would die. But like, the thought of like that's where all the blood's rushing. It's like, and it's like it can't stop until you get like unhorny, I guess. But then like you're 13, 14, like you're never unhorny. So it's just like all this blood.
Yeah, all the blood's
Just kept going. Should have just powered through.
It was honestly like all the blood's going there, and then like somebody just like took a knife on like a plastic bag full of blood and just like a little slit, and it was just like disaster. So there's
Dude,
like a little.
The thing with Vaseline, the petroleum jelly, is that I remember like being younger and like you're just trying like what works or what you can even use, but like there's no denying, like if you just kind of raw dog it or like you use some lotion or something, like you can kind of like deny it if like a parent walks in or something like that, like just like, oh, whatever, and then like your hand, like, oh, it's lotion, but then it's like you walk in and like your hand, like one hand is just covered in petroleum jelly. It's like you're clearly jacking off. Like there's no hiding that. It's not like you can like secretly like take a paper towel and like clean it off real fast or anything. Like it's just this weird like melted wax hand of jacking off or whatever. It's like just there.
Yeah,
it's like Hellboy or whatever. Doesn't Hellboy have like one hand that's like a hammer or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
what it's like.
Jack off hand. Yeah. So that's one of my dick stories. Justin, have you hurt your dick or balls other times?
Oh yeah, multiple times. So this one is the last one was like genitals, and more so my balls. I mean, my dick did get injured in the process, but it's more so the brunt of the forces to the balls. This story was all peen. There's nothing but the peen. So I was in 8th grade. No, I was in 9th grade. I was in 9th grade. So I went to a middle school. I was supposed to go to this one middle school, and then I ended up going to a different middle school because it was an academy or like a what do they call that? They had a magnet program, and so that was where like a lot of some of my friends went or whatever. But I just went to this one middle school because I didn't like the middle school that I was assigned to because it was like dirty as shit. And so I was at this other middle school, and I was still playing basketball at the high school that like the other middle school fed through. So like whatever. So like I went to this other middle school. Then I went to a new high school. When I went to high school, I didn't know anybody because I went to the middle school that didn't funnel to that high school. So freshman year comes around, and one of the girls that I knew from middle school needed a date to their like freshman dance or whatever, and so I went with her, and so I'm out there, and like I decide I'm gonna do the worm, okay? So the problem with that was that we had been slow dancing a little before that, and I had developed what some scientists in the medical community call an erection, and I didn't want to walk around with this divining rod pointing at everyone, so I up-tucked it into my waistband.
Yeah.
I'm wearing, like khakis or whatever, and I have, and I've got my shirt tucked in or whatever, but like I kind of manage. Whatever. I'm sure, like if you were looking for it, like you can't like smiley. You really have to work to that.
I'm picturing like if I stood like right in front of you and looked down, I'd see your dick coming up between your shirt and your.
Yeah, like the bottom where the shirt tail, or like after the last button where it just V's out. Yeah, just like poking out.
Yeah.
Looking like a little tiny sarlacc. And so I had this boner, and I up-tucked it, and I was like, whatever. And so like we're dancing or whatever, and then like it's going around. I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit the worm. So I hit the worm. Problem with hitting the worm when you have an up-tucked boner is that since it's pinched out or whatever, I came down after the first undulation, and when I came back down to do it, my belt buckle pressed up against my dick tip, and then I'm smashing it into the ground. So I immediately like yelp or whatever. I'm like, I remember the sound. I can't remake it because it was like this guttural, like it was fear and pain, and then like trying to conceal it in front of a group of people that are looking at you that you don't know, because like again, like I didn't go to this high school. I was this girl's date, and so like I'm just trying to like impress people or whatever. So and so like I try to shrug it off or whatever. And I immediately go to the bathroom, and I go into the stall. I look at my dick. I have a blood blister on the tip of my dick. Okay, it hurts so bad. I was crying. I was in it. I just like. It's like to make it not look weird or whatever. I like took my pants down, like sat like I was taking a shit or whatever, just so I could like, just like have my penis free and like. But I was just like, I remember I was just crying. I was like, oh my god, like, and it hurt so bad. I couldn't move like the rest of the night. I couldn't even like dance or move, and I had this bruise on my dick tip for about 2 weeks, and it hurt so bad because even so, like, I would like like just when it's in your pants and you're walking around, or like it rubs in your boxers or this and that, and like I played basketball, so I'd be out there and I'd be running, and it would like whatever, and like it would move a certain way and it would hit that blister, and I would just like I would be completely frozen, like I couldn't do anything. It was the worst.
Yeah, having an injury to the dick that like a cut or a scrape or blister that lasts for a while is so bad. People are like, oh, mouth sores are the worst. Like, no, dick sores are by far the worst.
Yeah, dude, I had a I just thought of this one. I did the same kind of thing. I was playing basketball in our neighborhood. Is at one of our friends' house, but like a bunch of us were at the pool, and then we went back to his house to play basketball, and it was like 10 of us, and we were playing like 3-on-3 tournament, that whatever. Anyways, I was playing in a swimsuit, and like had a Velcro crotch, and like my dick just kept rubbing on the Velcro, and I remember like it rubbed the top 2 layers of skin off. It was like someone like took like a piece of cheese on a mandolin or whatever, and like fucked up the angle or something. It was like it just shred off part of my dick tip, man. It was awful. My shit is just mangled down there, man. It looks.
I like that all your similes for your junk involve cheese. Like,
oh yeah, my God. I mean, it is. It's the. Look, I'm trying to be accessible to the audience, right? So everyone knows cheese.
Everybody loves cheese. Everybody loves dicks. Yeah, I've blistered and cut the dick a few times. Like a lot. That fingernail incident was the worst. I've had a couple other like minor ones when I was young. I had. This isn't an injury, but like I had, as Justin would put it, what some experts might refer to as scabies or crabs. Yeah, so I banged a girl that like I went to rehab with, and she had crabs. What crazy coincidence is that? Yeah, I know. But that was the worst. I was working, so I have crabs, right? Like I didn't know what it was at first. I didn't understand it, and I'm working in a restaurant at this point, just for all the you know, health people out there wanting to know. I served a few hundred people food with a disease on my dick and balls. Um, but so anyway, yeah. So I got crabs from this girl, and I didn't know really what was happening. Like at first, it's just like one or two here and there, and then like shit goes off the chain. But I was too embarrassed to like tell my parents who I was living with at the time. Like I need to go to the doctor for something on my dick. So like I didn't tell anybody, and like I just kind of like waited till it went away, and it did, and it hasn't come back since. But like that whole summer, I'm working at this restaurant, right, and like my balls are itching so bad all the time. So I'd be like getting somebody a drink at like at the bar, and I'd be like scratching my balls on the bar. like like I figured out the most subtle ways to scratch your balls. Like bend down to tie your shoe and scratch your balls with your elbow. Like you got to get really resourceful when you have like some undercover crabs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, like that's why I actually didn't wear jeans for the longest time. Is like, if my asshole itches or my dick itches, like in jeans, like that's impossible, man. Like you can't covertly do that. The denim is a natural blocker for trying to get that done. Like khakis, I can do that no problem. But like, yeah, dude, I honestly just didn't wear jeans because I like putting my hand in my pants, and I can't easily do that, or scratch my very itchy, always itchy testicles in jeans.
Yeah, if you're trying to scratch your balls or your ass in jeans, you gotta like pull the jeans up to your knees to get enough slack for your ass. to like get up in there and find your way around.
Hey man, I didn't wipe properly earlier. I've been like as much as I love eggnog, that shit just like fucks up my entire digestion system. And I mean, like I go through a half a gallon a night or more. And but yeah, like today I was just on the toilet all the time. But then like we were going to the library. I was taking Taylor and Waverly. We were going to the library to get some books, and I had to back my car out. And I had just taken a poop, and I thought I had wiped pretty good, and then it didn't. I was like, oh my god, my asshole's so itchy. I'm literally like I had to back my car out for her car to get out. I'm just sitting there like gyrating, like on the seat, just like and like I finally get my ass cheeks like apart enough where it like it's starting to kind of like. The little like seam on the back of the denim is like up in the sphincter. Like, oh my god! I was like, that was probably the best I've ever felt in my entire life. But yeah, no, definitely. But then like it's not subtle. I'm like literally just like fucking shit, like I like fucking the shit as a power bottom out of my car seat.
I feel like you might be a top in that situation if the car seat's the I don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's my ass. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll get sophisticated enough where we can get callers and do this, and then we can ask for expert opinions about what is.
No, you were right. You're definitely the bottom there. Yeah, the seat is fucking you. Yeah.
Jacob, have you fucked up your penis anymore?
The only other time I could think of was I had a friend in middle school who he had really steep stairs at his house, and you didn't really notice it on the way up, but he was fully aware that he had steep stairs, and so at some point during like having people over for the first time, he would just he'd just start chasing you. He had a BB gun, and like he just like pulled it out, and he's like, all right, you gotta run. I was like, oh, fuck, okay. And so I take off running, turn, go down the stairs, and then just instantly like slide down, and the whole way it's just like all the way down, just destroying them. Well, then I got my revenge because I went back upstairs after I was done like crying, and he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that like you'd get hurt that bad. And I was like, yeah, that game kind of sucks. But he leaned back at one point, and like just this revenge instinct kicked in, and I've never just like punched someone for no reason, but I did. I just punched him right in the balls.
Well, it wasn't for no reason. You were doing it for a good reason.
Yeah, fair enough. But he started pissing blood, so I had to leave. So that was the only other time that yeah. It was uncalled for, and I felt bad later, but not completely.
Yeah, I hurt one of my friend's balls really bad too. It's really awkward, and I had to go home too. His mom sent me home. I hurt his balls so bad. So it was the summer, and we were outside playing basketball. He had this really nice like half court, like his driveway kind of came around his house and then opened up real big, and they had like a nice like half court basketball court with like all the lines and everything, nice fiberglass backboards. So we'd play back there all the time, and I I was always like we were best friends growing up, but it was always kind of like I'm number one and you're number two, and I was number one, and like you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't that I forced that. It's just like obviously I'm the more dominant personality. I'm the more dominant person. So like I'm gonna beat you up sometimes. That's just how it's gonna go. So like we'd roughhouse and stuff, but like I'd always kick his ass. But anyway, one time we're playing basketball, and I had it all planned. Like we'd been kind of like lightly ball tapping each other all day, and like we're in like middle school, early high school at this point, so ball tapping is huge. Like ball tapping is life, and at least it was in my school district. I don't know I don't know about you guys, but so this kid, I do a pump fake, like go up for a jump shot, pump fake. He jumps in the air and doesn't just jump, but he like throws his hands up and his legs out, like he does like a big like star thing. And so I've got the ball like this, and I just go whack and throw it right down at his nuts. Like such a dick move. But anyway, like I knew it would be funny. I knew it would.
That speaks volumes. No, that speaks volumes. If like in the moment your instinct was just like there's no way you could have planned for that. Like you're like it wasn't like okay, what are the 1,000 different ways I can throw this basketball at his nuts when we play? It's like the situation presented itself, and your natural instinct was to go, I'm gonna throw this ball at his nuts.
Yeah.
I just farted on accident. That was so funny.
You know, like that bad feeling, like when you're messing around with somebody and then it goes too far, and like you get that really uncomfortable feeling, like I just fucked up really bad, because like I hit him, and it was one of those ones where he starts screaming before he hits the ground, and like so it hits his nuts, and so he kind of like tilts forward and falls down on his face, and he's just howling, like screaming, and his mom was sitting like 30 feet away and watching us play basketball. So like she saw this, but she was behind me. I kind of thought she was like inside or busy or not paying attention. And he laid on the ground crying for like a solid 5 or 10 minutes. And I kept just like trying to apologize and being like, sorry, dude, we were just joking around. And then like I think I fucked you up permanently in like the only part of your body that matters. But and then his mom was like, you know, I think it's better if you just go home now. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do that.
Oh my god. I've definitely got hit in the nuts a couple times. Like, yeah, we definitely did some ball tapping in middle school. What was big when I was in middle school was, give me that neck! Have you ever heard that? And then you, like, slap somebody's neck and, like, Indian burn it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you don't slap your neck, like, but it's just like like that, and you try to Indian burn it. That was, like, huge when I was in middle school. There was one time we were playing, like, 21 or something in my buddy's back in his driveway, and I did something, and then I went like baseline, but then he hit the ball when I did a crossover, and I kind of bobbled it, and then I ended up kicking the ball, and the ball went like 8 feet and hit the goalpost, and it ricocheted, and I kept running. So like I kicked, and then whatever, and it hits off, and I keep running, and the ball bounces off of the goalpost, and then he comes back and clobbers me in the junk. And I would be a millionaire if it was now, where like back then where everybody had a cell phone and somebody was just like recording it for no reason, because it was like I couldn't have done that on purpose if I tried it 1,000 times. But it just got clobbered right in the junk and just fell over and could not move for a very long time.
It's debilitating. Like a really solid junk shot, not like we don't all know it, but like there's nothing more debilitating on a temporary basis, you know, other than actual like paralysis. It's like temporary paralysis, like, you know. Like, have you ever seen or have you ever puked from getting hit in the ball so hard? I've heard that happens, but I've never seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen somebody do it, but it's never happened to me.
Yeah, I fainted one time because I got spanked really hard. It's not really balls or dick, but I guess it's still below the waist. But like, I was just thinking, 'cause we were talking about sports and soccer, like Jacob, it seems, I mean, like you played as much soccer as I did growing up, probably more, and like nut shots are so big in soccer. Like for some reason, I guess there's a lot of pretty much everything's happening below the waist. So like, and no one's wearing cups, so like you're pretty susceptible to it. But like, I never once got hit in the nuts playing soccer, not one time.
Yeah, I didn't either. I hit a couple people, but it never happened. It would have been terrible because I would have quit. I would have been done playing soccer forever if it ever happened.
Yeah, yeah, I've never been hit in the nuts, and people think it's like this common thing, and like I've never gotten hit in the nuts. I try to protect my dick on the field, but off the field, I just kind of let it hang out and slam it in doors and stuff.
The one thing when I was doing quote unquote professional wrestling, but one thing I was when we were talking about like how you sell certain hits and this and that, and he was just bringing up, he's like, when you get hit in the nuts, the pain is not in your nuts. The pain is in like up in your stomach, but you still reach and hold your nuts. Like there's no reason. I guess it's just like you don't want to be like yell out like I've hurt my penis. You just want to be like you kind of cover up, and then everyone goes, okay, that's what happened. But like the pain is not in your nuts. The pain is all up in your stomach, and it's not even the worst that I've ever had. It is like it's never like somebody throwing a basketball and me getting hit in the nuts or like whatever. It's like a light grazing of my nuts where it's just like this slow burn of like, oh, that probably should have hurt. Okay, well, I guess it's okay. Well, something's heating up down there, and then it just like starts creeping up into like your lungs. Like, oh my god! And you just fall over, and it is because it's not like when someone gets like elbowed in the mouth or something. Like, oh my god, like I can understand why that person is like in pain, but then it might just be like somebody kind of turning and lightly grazing, and it's like, and then you can't move. I don't understand why like that light smack is much more painful than like a full on just like punch or something.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like if you fucking roll a bowling ball down and like, well, no, that'll kill you. But like the ones that seem to hurt a lot that really surprise you are like, yeah, like you and your girlfriend are walking around Bloomingdale's, and she turns and her purse swings and like hits just one of your nuts. Like the corner of the purse just hits one of your nuts, and then like you're like, ow, babe, and then you stop and you're like leaning against a clothing rack and you're like, I think I'm gonna fucking throw up. Oh my god, it's getting worse. It's like someone lights a fire with a match and then like it just grows and grows and grows.
Oh yeah, okay, here, let me re-up on the nog before I tell this other story. So this last penis one that I mean obviously I've messed it up a lot. I mean it just looks like a toddler got a hold of a banana down there. You know what I mean? It's just a real chewed up and mangled. It's not a pretty picture. And so if it wasn't for just looking at aesthetics alone. I'm just lucky that I got a woman. Okay, just thankful for girth, I suppose. But so I was in high school, and no, it wasn't high school. I apologize. So I had graduated college, and I moved back home with my parents. Taylor was still in college, and luckily her last semester she was able to live in Greenville and do her her final education stuff there. And then I had graduated, and I was living with my parents, and I had a dog. Her name was Winnie the Pooch. And so I was at my parents' house, and so I'd have to take her out at night. And usually I was up anyways, but like I would take her out around like midnight, 1 a.m. or something like that to go pee. And she would always want to go out and start playing around. But then I just learned that one of my most favorite things in the world is peeing in my backyard. Like peeing outside is my most favorite activity. That's like the $20,000 down I put on my house, like that's worth it just for me to go out back and pee anytime I want to. Like, I don't care if I lose that money, like it's very much worth it. And so, but I learned just out of accident, like I would go out there and she was trying to go pee and she wanted to play and this and that, and I would just go, and I would just start peeing. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'm just gonna go pee. But then when I started peeing, I noticed that she would start peeing. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is like, I mean, like maybe she could smell it or whatever it is, but she we would go out and like I would literally pee and she would walk up next to me and she would start peeing, and I was like, yo, this is awesome. And so our trips would go from 30 minutes to like 10 minutes. So one time I was out or whatever, and so Pete. So the next day, I take her out, and then I come back in or whatever, and Taylor comes over the next day, and we're sitting on the couch watching TV, and I, as I'm known to do, I put my hand on my pants, just start kind of, scratching the old ball sack. Are you guys a pinch and roll, or are you like a back?
I'm a back flick. I have to be really careful down there because of all the ball injuries, so I can't pinch and roll. It rolls and pinches on its own. I can't do it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but that's how I am. So I just kind of down there, whatever, and I kind of like touch my penis, and I feel like a bump, like a noticeable bump. And I was like, okay. So I just like kind of told Taylor, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom. What the fuck is on my penis? And there's a tick on my penis.
Oh shit!
Okay? Right where the mushroom cap is. Okay, like kind of half over the penis, the peen shaft on the mushroom cap. Yeah, right where the wrist. The wrist is where it is.
The wrist. The penis has a wrist, despite what doctors tell you.
Yeah, exactly. so it's split across the dick wrist, and I start freaking out. I'm like, holy shit! Like this is not good. So I try to like flick it. I'm like trying to I even like grab it and try to pull it. And like that shit is locked on there. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, so I call Taylor there. We were the only ones at the house at the time. And I was like, Taylor, get in here, get in here, get in here. She's like, what? I was like, I have a tick on my dick. I have a tick on my dick. There's a tick on my dick. There's a tick on my dick. Please get the tick off of my. Like, I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my god, like this is not. I don't like anything about this. And so she's like, okay. She's like, okay, calm down. Let me see. She's like, oh my god. So there was some tweezers. She got the tweezers. She's like, all right, I'm gonna get it off or whatever. She tweezes this thing and pulls it off, and it takes like a. Like a very small, but like it pulls like skin cells off, like the top, like wherever it was latched on, like there was a piece of top epidermis like attached to this thing. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, they're meant to. I mean, the head is meant to stay in there. Like if they do their job perfectly, like some of them stays in there, and you don't get all of them. So they hold on really fucking hard.
Yeah, well, that was the thing is that like I had always heard that to get a tick off, whatever, like you have to you light a match under it. Or whatever, like you have to heat it up or whatever to because the heat makes it like, and like whatever. And I was like, I'm not about to do that. But she put the tweezers under just scalding water for like 30 seconds. I was like, maybe that'll do it. So we get this she had to rip it. She had to pull it off like a Band-Aid. And I was like, you gotta be shit.
Oh god.
So I had called my dad afterwards. Well, first off, I wanted to smash. I wanted to smash the shit out of it, like with my bare hand. I wanted to just take a needle and just stab it, look it in its little fucking insect eyes or whatever little eyelets or photoreceptors it had. I wanted to look into its little fucking soul, knowing that it's a stupid fucking insect and was not going to heaven and was gonna die there. I wanted to look at it and be like, how dare you touch this penis? So I called so I was like, no, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna come up with something. It's just almost like with slugs, like you put salt on them and they. And they're tortured. I'm like, there's got to be something like that for ticks. So I put it in a plastic bag, and I was like, I'm going to get back to you, little fucker. So I called my dad, and I'm like, Dad, I was like, can you talk for a second? And he's like, let me step outside. So I tell him, I was like, so I had a tick on my dick. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, do I have Lyme disease? Do I have to worry about something? I don't. He's like, no, you should be okay. I think, I don't know, if they're maybe look it up online or something, or if you want to call the doctor's office. But he's like, I think you should be okay. I was like, okay. And he's like, are you sure? You really? Are you just kidding me? I was like, no, I really. So I left it up on the counter because I wanted him to see it. I wanted him to see. So I'm done. There's a little bit of blood, whatever. And I was like, it was just really traumatizing. And then I left them up on the kitchen counter in this plastic bag for my dad to get home from work. And he walks in, and I come up there and I was like, look, that's him. I told you there's a tick on my dick. And he was like, he looks at it, and then he kind of looks at me, and he looks back at the tick and goes, looks a little underfed. I was like, well, any shortcomings is your fault, so blame yourself.
We've got the same.
But yeah, no, that was so traumatizing. I remember that was There's only one other time I freaked out that badly, and I had been surrounded by a family of opossums, and like they were in attack mode. But like that time, I just remember like I just kept repeating, "There's a tick on my dick. There's a tick on my dick. Taylor, there's a tick on my dick. There's a tick." Like I couldn't say anything else. But yeah, no, that was traumatizing. It's since healed, and you can't even tell there was ever a tick on my dick wrist, but the memory remains.
Yeah, I've still got scars and like bruises that just don't go away. What's that? Do you guys have any of those on your dick?
Just bruises?
Yeah,
Just like permanent?
Like it looks like a little like I don't know. Maybe one time I just like really slammed the shit out of it or like bent it. I don't know. But there's some like it's just like discolorations. Like if you look at it from far away, you're like, no, that looks good. And then you get close, and it's like there's like a scar here and a scar there, and like, but then there's like just like it's a beat up looking dick. I have a beat up looking dick. I'll be honest.
It's a vintage dick, man. It's got some nice patina, coloration to it.
Yeah, you can either look at it in that sense. I mean, like my dick kind of looks like a homeless person. Like my dick looks like it's been drinking liquor out of plastic bottles on the street for like a good 5 years.
You should go to Antique Roadshow. Hey, to be honest, how much is this thing worth?
The appraiser would be like, well, we had some experts take a look at it, and they can estimate that it's between 80 and 120 years old. No, joke's on you. Actually, that's a 25-year-old dick. It's just been through a lot.
So we counted the rings on it, and it's 25 years, but from the aging and the coloration, there's rust. You usually don't find rust there, but there is, and it would suggest upwards of 125 years.
It's slightly detached. It's obviously had a few repairs.
Oh my god! Yeah, I've definitely. I guess I was thinking back. I have injured my penis in my younger days, like while having sex.
Yeah.
I definitely I tried something where I was like, I'm gonna scoot my hips up a little higher and try to go down and back, like a backhoe move or something. And like that shit, like something popped, and I was like, luckily it wasn't like I definitely didn't like jam it or like how you can really injure your penis, but like there's definitely something like pop, and I was like scared. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I've just gotta like.
Yeah, I've gotten the pop a lot. Like I've like cracked my dick a bunch of times. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't happen in the middle of the dick. Like it's not like when you like crack your elbow or something. Like it's not bending in the middle. Like it's like if my dick is my arm, I'm cracking my shoulder. Like I don't know. I think there actually are some problems with my dick, but
I think you actually have something wrong with it at this point.
Yeah, like it's like a pitcher's shoulder. Like it's been through a lot. Like if I
you gotta ice it down after every session. You gotta tie a little ice bag around it.
Yeah, like I got
my dick clavicle.
I'm taking like 4 Aleve a day just for chronic dick pain.
Oh god, I gotta get Tommy John surgery on my dick.
Yeah, like just like at the base of it, like where all the action happens, like it's been worn down. Like it cracks and it kind of whines when it moves. It's got like some squeaking to it.
Just put some WD-40 on it. You'll be fine.
Just lube it up. You'll be alright.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, it really is. Like, I mean, as far as like masculinity and all that, like it is. It's like that's like such an important thing. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I've gotten like when I played baseball, I had to wear a cup. I never wore a cup like playing basketball or lacrosse or whatever. But like, there's just so many times where like my dick probably should have been ripped from my body or like, seriously injured. Like there was one time I was wearing a cup. I was a catcher, and like the guy fouled it or whatever, like straight down in the dirt, and then it popped up and like just clipped me straight up in the taint. And like that was I had to come out of the game. But like it's amazing that when you think about it, that like people don't hurt their dicks more.
Yeah, dick and like I've read that actually, and like this is a darker topic, and I don't want to get into it because this is all about funny dicks. But like, apparently, a lot of soldiers who are injured, in war from explosive devices, especially like the improvised explosive devices, like their dicks get blown off. It happens a lot, and like no one wants to talk about it, but it's a really big problem. Like dicks are getting blown off over there, and that's why we need to stop this war.
Yo, actually, like I think if I knew that fact, if that wasn't just something you made up for a
I'm very
podcast. No, but like seriously, like that would be. I think more people would be like, no, we're not. Like we're never going to war. Like no, like I mean, even like these little political fat cats that sit up in Washington. Yeah, whatever. Like I'm gonna make a couple million off this war or whatever. It's like, but then if they were like, there's dicks being blown off, like I can't in good conscience co-sign this.
You mean we're leaving our American dicks in that goddamn desert?
Yeah, those things don't get like I mean, there's just the whole Middle East is just littered with American dicks.
No, I really have read a few articles about it because it's like all of these projects that help, assist veterans and wounded warriors. Like nobody wants to talk about the dick, and every one of those explosions, somebody's dick is getting fucked up. So like that's a big reason that we need to just chill on the war stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, it's like whatever, like from Desert Storm and past wars where there's like certain areas, cities, whatever, where there's like still like landmines, and they're just like, yeah, like don't walk out there, like no matter where you step, you might step on a landmine, and it's like there's an area like that with like American dicks. It's like they don't let the kids play out in the field because like every 4 or 5 steps, like they're gonna step on a GI dick.
The kid brings one home and like comes into his house with it, and his parents start screaming like it's a landmine, like it's a live landmine. Well, I didn't step on it, but I saw it and I picked it up. What is this? They're like, oh no, American dick, get it out of here, get it out.
Get it out. Just throw it. Oh,
the dad throws it in the lawn and it fucking explodes.
That would be tough.
Yeah, we really got off topic here. Sorry, I didn't.
No, I think that it's an extension of it. It's like, it's like your dick, and then thinking of all of the things about it. It's like I said, it almost seems like you should be injuring it more. Just the amount of things that we do. Like I can't imagine like I never played football, but I can't imagine that like why every play someone doesn't get kneed or helmeted or whatever, like straight in the Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, those guys don't wear cups, right? Like that can't be. If you wore a cup, you can't be nimble and run around.
I don't know. They might have special like streamlined cups. Like real sleek cups. I don't know.
That hand motion killed me. It's like it's very sleek, like Coke bottle.
Your dick really is crooked, huh, Tom? Like, they might have like a special like certain fit one for me.
Justin's cup is like very offset.
Yeah, you gotta go in and get a plaster of Paris mold made at the urologist. Gotta go into it older. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I definitely like my dick leans to the left because when I was a kid, I've been jacking off since I was 10 years old. I had a computer in my room at 10, and I was printing off black and white pictures of Pamela Anderson and stapling them together and selling them for $5 at school. It's like I've been jerking off a long time, and the reason my dick leans to the left is because I had to operate a mouse with my right hand. So like it's that, and then my left hand's here. And this, I mean, it's a severe angle. It's not, it's not unnoticeable. It's certainly, it's like a, like the hour hand on 9:30. And it's not like that, but it's not 11:30. It's probably like, 9:45 maybe.
Yeah. I was thinking, I'm at like 10 o'clock, 9:45, just naturally. Like it goes over to the right side. It's just and then like the years as a man, this is another thing we don't talk about. The years of masturbation take a toll on the shoulder. Also, I mean, like. I've got offset shoulders, not just from people. The doctor says it's from pitching a lot in baseball, but I know what it's from. I know.
I played baseball for 1 year.
Yeah, dude. He's like, oh yeah, you've got some really offset shoulders here, and you've got some torn rotator cuff and like some bone spurs. How did this happen? You played a lot of baseball, right? Like,
No, actually, I played baseball for a couple years, but I jerk off like a madman.
Dude, imagine! I always imagined in a Rookie of the Year with Henry Roland Gardner with being able to throw the ball like 100 miles an hour with his shoulder. Like, imagine like you're able to just like pull your dick off with that amount of speed, like just like jerk off with that like enhanced shoulder power. Like that's a dream of mine. Every time I go to the mall, I flip a quarter into the fountain and wish for that.
Yeah, today I was watching some documentary about John Rocker, and like the dude just had so much power, and like they're showing his arms, and I'm like, that guy could rip his own dick off if he's not careful.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, but like no, for real, like the effects of it. I'm kind of a tip pincher. I don't know if that's a technique or like that's an accurate way to describe it, but kind of you know what I mean, like a kind of it's I'm not just a an up and down kind of motion here. It's kind of a pinch and
Oh, there's like so you got kind of this it's like
it's like up at the top or whatever. And so I mean like that's definitely like pinched or something my urethra. Like I know in 20 years like I'm not going to be able to pee as well as I am. Like even now like when I have to pee it like forks way more than it should. And it goes off and like it's harder and like because I don't know this. It's kind of sad I don't know this, but I think the urethra is like twisted, almost like a what is it? A Miller or not a Miller? It's a Coors Light Easy Pour. What's the beer that has the vortex top?
Yeah.
Like is it Coors Light?
oh my God.
Yeah, the Coors Light Vortex bottle. So it comes out, it's like vortex or whatever, so it comes out easy. I think that's how the urethra is, because sometimes that's the only way that I can describe why something would fork, because it's got two things coming out and one's going one way. But like I consistently only have like one stream, I guess, or half of it like kind of come out, and then I have to kind of gotta grip and kind of pull the foreskin, or the not foreskin, but the dick skin up to the top to make it tighter, so that the pee can go through. I don't know, man. Like as Lil B said, jerking off has ruined my life, man. Like in 20 years, I'm not gonna even be able to pee. Like I don't know, but like it really is. Like there's got to be like I wish somebody would do some long-term studies on like masturbation habits to be like, look, like it's okay to masturbate one up, but like don't do this because you're gonna fuck your dick up in 20 years from now.
Yeah.
It's like you don't. Usually, no one teaches you how to masturbate. You just kind of like, this is my dick, and like I remember the first time I had an orgasm. I was like 10 years old. I had a boner, and I was in my room, and like I said, I had a computer in my room. I was like looking at like naked ladies, and like back then, like you couldn't even find like hardcore porn. It was just like titties.
Yeah. You don't even know what you're doing, really.
Yeah, you just know that like, oh, this feels good, and like my penis, whatever. And I was sitting backwards in my chair. This is so, why am I admitting this? Probably too much eggnog. So I was sitting in the back of my chair, and it's just a cheap office chair, and so there's the pad up here at my stomach, and then going down the back there's like the kind of two little tubes or whatever. And like I'm sitting there and I kind of like just had my dick kind of pushed in the middle of the tubes. Like, this feels kind of good, And then like I fell backwards. Not like I didn't have it through it, right? Okay, I'm not like saying like I had it through it, but I had it like kind of pushed, smudged in there, just so it was like nice and cozy and warm. And I remember I did that, and I was like, God, this just feels like this feels right. I want this forever. But I fell backwards in my chair, and then the chair compressed against my dick, and then the two pneumatic tubes were like smushed my balls apart or whatever. But then I'm pretty sure I had an orgasm. I think that was the first time I had an orgasm, because I remember like, oh my God, I'm tingly. Like nothing like came out or anything, but I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is what I want. And but like no one taught me how to then like I didn't do that every time, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, okay, to achieve this feeling, I have to fall back in the chair with my dick smushed between two little tubes, like. But you just learn it, and you don't like. I don't know. It's like such a weird thing. No one wants to talk about it, but like you could definitely. There's probably a lot of people out there with like really fucked up penises at 50, 60 years old because of the way they were masturbating or something.
Yeah, there's no one teaching how to do it. I mean, there should be just like a government organization that visits every town and is like, look, guys. Grab your dick like this, up and down, don't squeeze too tight, don't go too loose. Here's the lotions you can use. Here's what you can't use. Like, yeah, use lotion. Don't use rubber cement. And then,
oh my god, no, you're talking about Vaseline. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I definitely did that. The worst thing that you could ever do, and you don't know this at the time because you're a dumb idiot teen, is I used soap one time and I got soap in my urethra.
Oh, dude, I got shampoo in the hole. Oh no.
I
was screeching in the shower like a fucking banshee. Like my whole family ran into the room. Everyone was. It probably sounded like someone was killing me. Like I'm in there. I remember I had the shampoo. I hadn't been jerking off for a while, and then like I realized like, dude, I use this super gooey stuff every day. Why don't I just move it from here down to here and just start going with it? It's like I'm doing it and it feels fine. And then like the second like the soap gets in there, it like you feel like a little inkling of something bad, and you're like, all right, it'll probably pass. And then all of a sudden, it's like searing pain down your urethra, and game over. Like just fucking shrieking, dude. Oh my god.
R.I.P. to my vas deferens, man.
Yeah, shit. You got to be careful what you get down in there.
That's the thing, man. Like, and we're talking about this. It's just like all the times you mess your dick up and this and that, but it's like you don't know the trauma. Like, I mean, imagine a lifetime of dick trauma. Like that's like no one talks about that. No one's looked into the effects of it. But like probably most of like Viagra is just for people like just getting too much shampoo in their urethra. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't even need that drug if just like everyone's like, hey, when from ages 10 to 30, like just don't get these things in your urethra and don't like pinch too much on your dick tip and like you'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's ever you're right, Justin. There haven't been any long-term studies. Like I'd really like right now I look at my dick and like I know it's beat up, but like it also like it serves me fine. It does what it has to do. And so like I don't think it's that bad. But like if you showed me a picture of my dick when I was like 10, like before all this started, I probably wouldn't recognize it. I'd probably be like, that's not my dick. My dick never looked that nice. Like, look at that healthy, nice, strong little thing there. Like, that's not me. My dick's always been bruised up. No, it hasn't. Like, I did this to myself. This is, and I'm only 25. Like, double this. You know what I mean? My dick's gonna just like evaporate from friction. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. It's gonna be gone.
just like years of like just it's almost like like taking a metal pipe and just like running while over it. It's just like metal shaving, just like years and years and years. It's just like cutting it off. Like I mean, maybe my dick would be way bigger if I wasn't just like jamming it back into my body. You know what I mean? You think about it, it's like you're doing this and then you're going back in, and it's like, man, maybe if I just didn't jerk off, I'd have like a 14-inch dick, and then here I am, with a 2-incher. It's like, god damn, man, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I was looking at my dick the other day. I swear to God, I looked at it and I thought, like, my dick's definitely not as big as it used to be. What happened? Like, and I don't know. I don't have any measurements. I don't have any evidence to put it against. But like, my dick looks like it's not in a good way. Like, it looks like it has cancer, but it's not terminal yet. Like, it's on the way down. Like you can tell it's not the way it used to be, but you don't know that it's really sick yet.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I mean, I know that it's all about, like your testosterone levels, and if you work out and you're active, and then that helps it, and blood flow and all that. And I think, it probably is. It's like, you get young when you're younger, you're just like healthier or whatever, and like that's just what it is. And you get older, you get kind of unhealthier, and like maybe not as much blood can go to it. But like sometimes too, man, like there's too much blood in there. Like sometimes just shit hurts. Like I've had boners and I'm just like, I don't want this. Like remember last week when I was trying to jerk it off in the shower before work, like, and you wouldn't cooperate. You're just like, nah, I don't have it in me, man. And I'm like, please, just do this for me, please, 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 please. And you're like, I can't, man. I wish I could for you, but I can't. And then you get one the next week, and you don't even want it, and the shit hurts. There's too much blood there, and it's almost like your body knows, like, yo, like if you weren't jerking off enough and shoving some of your your dick cartilage back inside your body, and you had that extra half-inch, like this blood would be flowing and you'd be fine. But like right now, because you've jerked off too much, like there's too much blood here, and now you're being punished.
Yeah, it feels like a car that somebody has not taken in for an inspection or a tune-up in way too long. Like it still works. Like I can still start it up and get going and get where I need to go, but like it's a fucking disaster. Like it's like it's not. My dick's not street legal. Like it's way past inspection. But that's the thing. You never get a break. Like, imagine if you had to. So, like, you can take your car in for inspection every year because, like, you have a little bit of free time. You have a Saturday or a Sunday, or, you know, you can drop it off and then go to work and pick it up after. But, like, your dick, you don't have a day off from your dick. Like, I don't give my dick any days off. Rarely does the dick get a day off. And so there's no time for recovery. There's no time for repair. So it just gets beaten down further and further and further. And, like, I feel like I'm going to end up being 60 and just have, like, a little nub of a dick because, like, it's all worn away. And then, but I'm not going to realize how bad it is. I'm going to be like, I think my dick's always been relatively this size. And then, like, no, you can't remember because, like, you're so damaged. But, like, you used to have a normal dick, but you rubbed it off.
Well, it's one of those things, like, it's just like with anything. Like, you're around the same people or yourself day in, day out, you don't notice those incremental changes, differences. But you know, somebody goes away for a week and then comes back, and you go, "Oh wow, you're a little different than what I thought." You know, like because you're just abusing your dick nonstop for 60, 70, sometimes even 100 years. You don't notice that you've just slowly. You've just been limiting your penis, and it's been shrinking.
I think Jacob has had his hand on his face or his forehead the entire episode.
I like your guys' level of commitment where the thought is like, yeah, no, when I'm 90, I'm still jerking off like probably 2 or 3 times a day. Like, there's no mention of ever slowing down. You guys are just like, yeah, I mean, like 80, 90 years from now, if I'm still doing it 3 times a day, which I'm sure I will be, like, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah, I'll probably be impotent. I'll be impotent by like 2020. Just non-functional, like completely non-functional. I've taken Viagra before. Have either of you guys ever tried that shit out?
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not fun. It's terrible. It hurts, and there's weird side effects. Yeah, don't do it.
No, yeah, like for me, like it's definitely like I'm sure for someone whose penis is completely worthless and just like a deflated bouncy house, like the Viagra is exactly what you need. It's like if you have a bouncy house that has a hole in it, like the normal amount of air that goes to it is gonna kind of fill it up, but it's not gonna keep it full. You have to supercharge the amount of air going through that to like then counteract the stuff that is escaping. But when you are an able-bodied person, you're just like, I'm gonna take Viagra because I just want to make sure that my dick is gonna continue to stay up. It has the exact opposite side effect. I took it. Taylor and I had our, I don't know, it was like some year anniversary in college, and like I'd rented a hotel room. She was coming down to Rock Hill to visit me in college. And I got like the hotel room that had like a jacuzzi in the room, like whatever, and like we could watch TV in there. I like rented Sex in the City or whatever. I was just like, yo, it's just like a whole weekend. Like we're just gonna be in this hotel. We're gonna have sex. And then my friend who worked at Joseph Banks, he had this old dude that worked there that had a hearing aid, and like he would always like when the boss started like trying to tell him stuff, he would just literally turn his hearing aid off so he couldn't hear anybody. I bet he was like, yeah, it's like if you ever need, he's like, if you ever need some Viagra, I got some for you. So I just hit my friend up, and I was like, I just wanted to make sure, you know, it's like it's a big night, we're gonna be there. I just wanted to.
Yeah, the pressure's on. There's some pressure there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I want it. You know, if I can only last X amount of time, you know, if I can last half 50% longer or whatever, like just want to ensure it. And then I took that, like she went in the bathroom or something, and I didn't tell her about it. And I just went, I'm gonna take this thing, dude. I couldn't ejaculate for shit. I didn't have an orgasm. My dick was just hard, and like we never stopped having sex. I think she got lockjaw at one point. Like it was terrible. It was the worst experience of my life. I will never take it again until I'm 50, 60, and my dick is just an overcooked linguine noodle.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like one of my fraternity brothers had it, and like they would fuck around with it sometimes, and they made it seem fun. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I'll do it. I'll take one and I'll take it whenever the time feels right. And it didn't feel good. It made my face because like it increases blood flow to a lot of your body, and I don't know if it dilates your blood vessels or what, but either way, like, so a lot of blood rushes to your dick, but also a lot of blood rushed to my face, so I was like really flushed, and that's like just a really uncomfortable feeling. So like I'm very red faced, and then like I have this dick, like Justin, like talk about like not wanting your dick anymore, like when you're in like so like I was drunk and I took Viagra, and then the Viagra lasted this long, but the alcohol only lasted this long, so like there was this period where I'm just like post-sex and I'm hungover and like I've got this boner and I'm like, if a wizard showed up right now and granted me a wish, I'd ask him to take my dick away for sure.
Just take it all. Just take it away.
He's like, oh, I've never heard that one before, but I'm a genie, so I'll take that dick. Yeah.
I will take that dick. Oh my god, yeah. Okay. I think we've successfully explored just the concept of dick trauma, and everything that revolves around penises.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sure we can unearth some stuff later, but I think it was a good, overall discussion of penises and genitals and the male genitalia.
Yeah, we really covered all the bases, I think. Unless anybody else has anything to add, that's all my good dick stuff there.
I don't think I have anything to add.
You've never taken Viagra before?
No, I've never tried it.
Hey, I think my wife just walked by. Hey, Taylor, can you come here and tell them about the time I took Viagra? Just give it a ring.
It nearly ended our relationship.
It was not. It was.
They know the details of it.
I just sort of told them. You don't have to come in here and tell them.
Oh no, I'm coming around here.
Oh. Okay.
No, it was horrible.
I told him you almost got lockjaw.
I have never been in so much pain in my entire life.
Hey.
Like,
that's a good thing,
the relationship was gonna be
pain, emotional pain, not physical pain.
I mean, I didn't think I was ever gonna be able to close my mouth again.
Hey.
So.
That was the thing, is that I didn't tell her. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to take this Viagra, so whatever you're going to have to do it 5 times longer.
I just didn't understand what the problem was.
Yeah.
Usually it ends at this point, and now it's 3 hours later, and your dick is still.
I was like, something is not right. I was like, I think I just gave up.
Yeah, she did. She's like, I'm done. She just said, I'm done.
I'm done.
But it was more like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
So you didn't say you just kept going and then waited until like the very end, or just like, oh, by the way, this is why.
Yeah, it was after she gave up and we were done, and then I just told her. I was like, yeah, I took a Viagra.
Yeah, see, when I took it, the girl knew, and we were like, oh, excited, like, yeah, oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. Not like I wasn't just like a healthy 20-something-year-old, and we weren't just like having healthy sex anyway. I was like, maybe this will make sex crazy. I don't know, like. And
Tom, imagine. Okay, so you got this boner, right? Oh god, and then you're like on top, and then you've just got this like Rob Ford red face just on top of her. You're just like naturally bloated. Like, imagine how terrifying that was for her. All this blood rush to your face. It looks like you've been hung upside down for 45 minutes. You just. Oh my god! It's like from.
I remember before the actual effects of the medicine kicked in, like the side effects kicked in, and my face got really red, and she was like, "What the fuck? Are you crying? Are you upset? Are you all right?" Like, yeah, it probably looked like someone was choking me simultaneously, for a good 4 hours. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was a good episode, man. That's good.
Oh man. Yeah, every time we get on here, I end up saying something about myself that only like 3 people know, and now I'm putting it on the internet, and now everyone knows.
Like, anybody, like, I honestly think it's like any person that is willing to commit, an hour and a half of their time of like listening to this, like, deserves to know something. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just broadcasting this stuff on Facebook to people I like don't really care about. It's like, someone has to enjoy something about this, and like as a reward, It's like I don't mind telling them about a tick on my penis.
Yeah, I guess it's worth it to have our audience and our viewers support us. Like, I guess you can know about all these humiliating things that shaped like the terrible person that I am today. Oh yeah, that evens out.
Well, that's gonna be the next T-shirt. Instead of the 3 that looks like 3 butts, it'll just be 3 dick prints.
Oh my God, who's the guy who came up with that 3 threes for the 3 butts thing?
Anglo guy? I don't know.
By the way, speaking of shirts,
I
and
noticed that. That's incredible.
Oh shit!
yeah,
Oh my God!
That's beautiful.
yeah. So speaking of dicks, I'm a guy who wears his own Twitter handle.
Did you just get that offline?
Yeah, I told my girlfriend that like I had the idea. I was like, I really like the Run DMC style logo. It's really played out, but I'd really like it with Tom Bro Dude. And like I just said it one time, like back probably last year, and she got it for me for our anniversary last month.
Oh, that's too. Oh, I got this. A Twitter person that follows me. I'm not about to show my dick. Chill out. This webcam is not high definition enough to show my mangled penis. It just look pixelated. No, a Twitter, one of my followers was at I guess a heavy metal or rock concert or something, and sent me a picture of this shirt and was like, "Hey, look at this thing." And I was like, "Holy God, where is that and how much is it?" And he was at the show and he was like $10. I was like, "Absolutely." I think I sent him like $20 for like postage and then like as a thank you to alert me of this. Look at this shirt.
I know I like it already.
The world is a terrible place. And I hate myself and I want to die.
Dude, that is the best. As soon as I could read half of it at one point, and I knew immediately what the rest said. I was like, this definitely says I want to die at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a play on like some other. I don't care. I was just like, yes, I'll take that without a doubt. Please send me that. But it's so crazy. And who's the wonderful lady from Egypt that could not buy the shirt that you had to change or who?
No, she couldn't get the podcast.
Oh, she's getting the podcast. Oh, she's trying to buy a shirt or something, and it changed.
Yeah, that's Aya or Aya. I'm not exactly sure how to say her name. She's been following me for a while. She's awesome, and she likes the podcast, and like she loves like fucked up shit. And like when she first heard our podcast, she was like, "This is amazing! Like you guys are so good."
She is awesome. We
Yeah.
should have her on.
We should have her on.
Yeah, multicultural. There's too much CIS heteronormative white male ness here. We need to bring in some.
I mean, she's in Cairo, she's in Egypt, but I'm sure that she's closer to the blown off dicks than we are in the Middle East.
That's true. If I would love if she could go out if we could send her out as a field reporter, and maybe she could verify some of these claims where there's just landmines of American soldier dicks out in the sands.
Yeah, you can know them because they have they're white first of all, so you know it's ours, and then there's like little badges and flags wrapped around them. It's military stuff.
Yeah, little known fact. Number one, all American soldiers have their dog tags. They also have dog tags around their dicks because they get lost so much. To be able to be returned to sender.
Yeah, it's rare. Usually, when balls go home without their dick, they never meet again. But every once in a while, one comes back.
Good episode, fellas.
All right, I'm looking forward to how many people end up tweeting "My dick is not street legal."
That is the best quote of this entire podcast.
And past inspection, beat up.
All right, sounds good. I don't know if I may not get to this until tomorrow night, but I'll get it up as soon as possible.
Yeah, no rush, dude. It was good talking to you.
You can just stop it, and then it goes to the YouTube page if you just want to toss it up on the blog spot or whatever, and then just put the video out, and then we can speak the audio tomorrow or whatever.
There's not
much going on tonight, I don't think. It's like before the holidays, and I think everything's kind of slowed down. People are probably bored. They'll listen to it.
Yeah, people dig it. The streets are hungry. They're hungry for these dicks.
They're hungry for these mangled deformed penises.
Except Jacob. Jacob has a nice dick, but broken balls. The balls are dead.
Yeah, I've done my best to take care of it. All right.
Love you guys.
Love you
All
too.
right,
Good seeing all of you.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.